The following podcast is brought to you exclusively by the Rad Rob Radio Network.
On this edition of Straight Up 5, we welcome the National Sales Manager for Bowlifi, Todd McGill, to the show. Todd runs TMT tournaments, works at Gilmore Lanes, and again is the National Sales Manager for Bowlifi, which is an amazing company. We can't wait to talk about that, talk about his career, talk about his past, present, future, all of it. Great guy. And we got a couple surprises for you in the show that you're going to want to wait for. I'm telling you, stick around till the end. Straight Up 5 with Todd McGill and me. Rad Rob starts now.
Ocho tells you exactly what's going on all the time.
Dr. Ocho, who the f*** is that? This is PBA champion Kyle Troop.
Hey y'all, Jacob Ledrup here.
Hey guys, Chuck Ritchie here, formerly of Bowl TV.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Schaefer of track staff at Valley Bowling Center in Waverly, New York.
And you're listening to Straight Up 5.
Yo, the boys from Straight Up 5, Rad Rob, Dr. Ocho.
Doesn't have the best hair in the world. I do. Sorry, bud, but you know the deal. Pick it out. Fear the fro, baby.
Welcome to Straight Up 5. A hard-hitting, in-depth, cutting-edge look into the world of bowling. This podcast will not only cover all things bowling, but will also give you a raw look into real-life issues. So without further ado, let's introduce you to the hosts of the show. Rad Rob Francois. Rad Rob Francois. Dr. Ocho. Dr. Ocho.
Hey guys, welcome back to Straight Up 5. I am your host, Rad Rob Francois. This is episode number 185. We are 15 episodes away from 200. I'm excited. I'm enjoying the show more and more every single week, especially since Dr. Ocho is not here. I'm kidding. I do miss my buddy Och. Dr. Interrupto, they just got about 27 inches of snow in Ochoville. So again, he's shoveling his mom's house out. Hopefully he will be here next week. I know I say that every single week. They're dropping like flies. Look. No matter what happens to this show, this guy's always going to be here, regardless. So, and there's big things coming in the future. So don't worry about it. Who do we have here in the chat? We got Jamie Gillis. What's going on? Last week we had a watch along for Pete McCordick's 300. Question is, when are we having Brandon Bonta's 300 watch along? I'll have to figure that out. I'll have to see if I can get a hold of him. That's a good question. Crambone, what's going on, David? Appreciate you being here. I can't wait to have this week's guest on. But before we do that, Nico's here. Nico, what's up, brother? Usually the first in the comment, man. What's going on? You gonna hang out the whole night or what? Our resident statistician. Oh, let me give you an I do.
I do.
There you go. There's your I do. Before we bring in a very special guest, Todd McGill, it is our new custom here to pay homage to our troops and everyone serving overseas and pay honor to our country. Let's join Cuba Gooding Jr. with the singing of our Star Spangled Banner national anthem.
To sing your national anthem, Mr. Cuba Gooding Sr. Thank you. Test. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's twilights last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, or the rapid mirage through the twilights last gleaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and of the free, the home of the brave.
Cuba Gooding Sr. Was that his dad, or did he become a senior? I always thought that was junior. If not, they look alike. Either way, thank you to Cuba Gooding Sr. for the rendition of our national anthem. Let's bring him a very special guest tonight. He is the national sales manager for Bowlifi, the one and only Mr. Todd McGill. What's going on, brother?
I got to compose myself after the national anthem. That was something else.
Yeah, it was a stirring rendition for sure.
Stirring is a great word for that. How are you tonight?
Being here. I appreciate you.
I'm glad to be here. This is a pretty cool 2 weeks in a row. I get to be on somebody's show, which I really would have never thought that was going to happen.
Yeah, we kind of broke you in last week. I know you might be a little bit nervous before we started, but it was a great show and you did very well. And I expect no less from the same from you this week. So,
well, we're going to do our very best.
Aren't we?
And I'm happy to be here.
Well, you have been kind of like me. You've been a bowling alley rat since you were real young. What's your first memories of bowling as a kid?
Well, do you mean of myself bowling?
Well, I mean, in general, like we can do both. Like when did you discover bowling and when did you start bowling? Let's do that.
Yeah, I mean, my family's been bowling. The whole family has bowled ever since, I remember, and probably before then. My dad was always a bowler. He would still bowl right now if he was able. He just had a birthday not too long ago. He's 86, and he was able to get out and get to the Hall of Fame induction that I was able to be part of in August. And we still go to dinner once a week or once every other week and get to visit. But he wouldn't be able to bowl. But I would go watch him bowl when I was 5 years old, and I have a twin brother, Tim, and the two of us would just be running around bumming people for quarters to play video games. And back then there were just simple video games, pinball machine and Galaga maybe, your basic stuff. But we would just run around and got to talk to people and, and just have fun, and didn't really pay attention to it a whole lot then. But as I got older, I started thinking, this is pretty cool watching them bowl. And that's how I learned a lot of bowling was watching Dad and his leagues and some of the guys that were around when he was bowling.
So when you were a teenager, if I remember right, when you were 14, it's when you actually started bowling.
Yeah, I played a lot of baseball when I was young, and the older I got, I didn't get any better. And the other kids did. And I thought, hey, let's give this a shot and try to start bowling a little bit. And I fell in love with it right away. I fell in love with the competition. I fell in love with, the people that I got to meet. And there was a coach there. Her name's Mickey. She ran all the youth leagues, and she worked at Colerain Bowl, where I, grew up at for over 50 years. And she's coached a lot of the young kids and a lot of some of the, the very good bowlers that are still out there today. And, getting to meet and work with her as I got older, and, it's just a lot of great memories. And then also having a twin brother, I was left-handed, he was right-handed. And so we had a lot of little battles that way. We both learned how to bowl with both hands a little bit. And just something we both really fell in love with. And again, some of the kids from school that maybe we didn't really talk to that much, we got to meet them at the bowling alley and realize, hey, these kids aren't so bad. I think 14 was the first year I bowled. I started walking up to the pro shop that was about a mile from my mom and dad's house, and we would walk up there and just hang out at the pro shop all day long. It was in my life from then and in my blood from then on. And even more so today.
And you and your brother were pretty good, pretty great youth bowlers. You were the first youth bowler to average over 200 in the state of Ohio for an entire season. That's a pretty big honor.
Yeah, it was cool. It was in the travel league. I think there were some other kids that averaged 200 in their house Saturday morning leagues or whatnot. But it wasn't but it was the travel league that was the scratch travel league that was put on, and I was the first one. There was another kid that averaged 200 the same year. His name was Brian Stith. So the two of us both averaged over 200. I edged him out by just a little bit, but it was the first two guys in the state of Ohio to average 200 in that travel league.
That's pretty badass, dude. Seriously.
It was pretty neat. I think I was 16. So within a couple of years of bowling, I was averaging over 200.
And then when you were 18, you shot your first 300.
I did. 18 years old, shot my first 300 and my first 800 in the same set. 300 my last game for 803. And a buddy of mine, Gary Thomas, I talked to him the other day. He's like, I heard you were on a podcast. I thought you said, did you say my name? And I said, I certainly did. I see Gary still on Mondays. He bowls at the bowling center I work at. And he's like, well, I heard you talked about it. Could you send it to me? So I sent him the link for the podcast, and he was driving out of town for work. And he was like, I can't believe you still remember that. And it's like, buddy, it was my first 300, my first 800. You kept me calm and talked me through the whole thing. That's something I'll never forget that.
That's really awesome. And you got to imagine, this is back in the 80s. It wasn't easy to shoot 300 back then. There really wasn't a house shot.
Well, I'm left-handed. So,
all right, so
I'll just leave that one up to the crowd.
Right.
So I grew up hearing that my whole life. You're bowling good because you're left-handed. You're bowling good because you work at the bowling center. You're setting the shot up for yourself. No, back then it was a little different. They had what was called short oil, and it had to be out there for 2 shifts.
Hey, yep.
And it's amazing that it was able to be done with 24 feet, 25 feet of oil. That was virtually, lanes were stripped by hand if they were even stripped.
Yep.
And it was a different world. You had to read the lanes a lot different back then. It was more front to back, and now everything's left to right.
Right.
And speed and revs. And back then it really wasn't a speed and revs game. It was, the guys that had speed and revs, obviously they were good, but it was more of a finesse game back then. And it fit into what I played.
Yeah, you're talking about wood lanes, wood approaches, right? So nothing was synthetic. Resin wasn't in yet, so you're bowling with the OG urethane or plastic or whatever you use.
Burgundy hammer, blue hammer.
Nice. I have one.
LT48. That was really my first ball in LT48. My first decent ball in LT48 and a yellow dot. I think everybody had those 2 bowling balls.
They're both goats when it comes to bowling balls. I will always love those. Yeah, I bowled on short oil too back in the 80s. I was just saying that on Amanda's show last night back at Bradley Bowl. That's all we had was short oil. And there was no house shot. So you didn't see so many 300s and so many 800s and 700s. And an honor score was a big deal. And you used to get, actual patches or rings or at least some kind of combination from the American Bowling Congress back then before USBC.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, I don't think they even do that anymore, do they?
You get 1 ring a year.
That's
or
it.
No, I'm sorry. You get 1 ring in a lifetime from
Oh,
USBC.
jeez. Yeah.
So once you get your ring and it's your first one, that's it.
That's messed up, man.
I think the TNBA still does 1 ring per year.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, to be a TNBA league, you have to be sanctioned through the USBC. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's one in a lifetime. Patches are really something that just aren't heard of. You might get a few local association awards here and there, but there's not a whole lot of that anymore. Just like anything else, it got expensive, and I don't even know how to explain what all the rest of it really is. But
I mean, you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it financially now, just with how many you see on all the time. I mean,
yeah. I mean, back in the day when I was first into the bowling business, we would make jackets for people that shot honor scores, and everybody got a jacket, and you got as many as you earned in the course of a year. And if you had a red jacket, if you had your first one, your second one, you got a white jacket, and we would do that for every one of them every year.
That's pretty cool.
And I would imagine we would put an apparel company in business just because of trying to buy jackets anymore for honor scores in a bowling center.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, that's the nature of the game. I mean, the guys want to go out, they want to throw strikes when they're bowling their leagues. They want to have fun. It sells more beer.
It does. I get it. It's a necessity to have the house shot to keep people around, especially with how fewer sanctioned bowlers are compared to the 80s and 90s. I get it. They've lost a lot of people, but who did you look up to growing up on tour? Anybody like watching on TV? Any favorite pro bowlers that you had?
So I was kind of fortunate. I mean, I had several guys that I like to follow. I was fortunate to have a guy by the name of John Gant. Actually worked at Colerain Bowl when I was a kid, and watching that guy throw the ball. He was also being a lefty. He was just way ahead of his time when it came to bowling back then. And if you didn't like watching Earl Anthony bowl, you were doing something wrong. I mean, the guy just could split boards, and he didn't smash the 5 out of the rack every time, but when it came time to throw a strike, he was the guy to do it.
Probably the most accurate bowler other than Walter Ray that I've ever seen.
Say, other than Walter Ray, I don't think there was anybody more accurate.
Yeah, agreed. And he did it in such a short period of time too.
Yeah.
He didn't join the tour until he was in his 30s, I believe. And I think he only did it in a span of like 15 years, if that. I mean, he had so much success. He was just a world beater. I loved him growing up. I loved watching Parker. Parker's amazing. Mike Albee, Amleto was one of my favorites. There was I miss those days, man. I really do. You can still see him on the PBA 50.
Yeah, the tour days from back in the day. There's a guy here locally. We had a local show called the King of TV Bowling, and Brian Himmler was a very good friend of mine, and he was making the show, the King of TV Bowling here locally when he was 14 years old against all the adult bowlers.
Yeah.
And I mean that show was here and gone. I mean the cost of production to do the show and everything just outgrew itself. And there's a guy here in town who's he brings back and kind of throws out clips of all the old shows from locally. And so I get to go back and see some of the videos from back in the 70s and 80s from, bowling centers, obviously, that aren't here anymore. There's so many bowling centers that just unfortunately go away.
Yep. Mine did.
Yeah. And mine did too, obviously.
Yeah. 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 That sucks, man. It really does. Bradley Bowl in Windsor Locks, Connecticut was a regular tour stop for years and years and years. It was the Greater Hartford Open, then it became the Tums Classic. It was a regular stop on tour every year when they were on ABC. And now it's a entertainment center with laser tag and arcades and all that other crap. And I think they have I don't even know, 6 VIP lanes, whatever. It used to be a 44 lane house. Yeah. It's just sad to see what it is now. I hate that, man. And you were at Colerain Bowl for a long time, and that's it's unfortunate.
I grew up there. That's always going to be home. Now it's car dealership, so there's not even 6 lanes there.
That's even worse. Yeah.
The kind of cool thing about Colerain is when it was being sold, I I could go around from bowling center to bowling center, and I started traveling doing tournaments after that. And if you go around town or just outside of town, a little north of Dayton or down into Kentucky or whatever, I would find monitors that were from Colerain Bowl up in these bowling centers.
That's cool.
And there's another fairly local center to us just outside of the city in Indiana. They bought all the lanes. So it's a 16-lane center, and every one of their lanes and approaches were Colerain Bowl.
Wow.
And
at
the bowling center I'm at now, we have some of the ball lifts that were in there.
That's cool.
Downstairs, just parts,
Yeah.
But you can go around and see different things that came from that bowling center. And it still is pretty touching to me to see that kind of stuff.
It really is, man. That's really, really cool. That it gets to live on and get some life out of it somewhere else. That's awesome. I didn't know that was a thing. I don't know what they did with all the Bradley Bowl stuff. I remember back in the day when they had the telescores. You had to put the plastic sheet down over the projector and just write score by hand. Like, that's how I learned how to keep score. And a lot of people nowadays watch bowling. They have no idea how to score, but I learned as a young kid how to score that way by doing it.
That's how I made money when I was a kid. I would keep score at my dad's league. We started when I was younger, and the king of TV would need scorekeepers. I'd go wherever center they were at and keep score. And I mean, that's how you get paid a little bit to do it and earn a little tip money, and then get to learn and sit around some of the better guys around town. And it was cool to me. The only thing bad about being left-handed though was writing on those things, because the light would just scorch the outside of your left hand by the time you were done.
That is true. I'm a lefty as well. So yeah, you are right about that. When the pros came in, I was like child slave labor. The plier Red Burnham put me in back in the boiler room. And I had to clean all the plastic telescores when the pros were these just long plastic sheets, and they were heavy, like big bundles of them. Yeah. And I would just take some, I don't know if it was isopropyl alcohol or I forgot what it was, and just clean them by hand and then give them back so they can be reused again, man. That was like,
oh boy.
It was fun though. I mean, it was, probably illegal, but
I don't know if you're allowed to say that or not today.
40 years ago, but
yeah, they're not going to look into it.
No, probably not. But anyways, so did you ever want to go on tour? Did you ever get your PBA card?
No, I didn't. It's always a dream when you start bowling well and think, maybe. And I mean, even Himmler back, several years after, life happens and you start having, like real life responsibilities.
Yeah.
And it's, he would get into me. He's like, you were like the best bowler coming out at your age. I don't know why you did.
Okay. He's frozen. I don't know if you can hear me, Todd, but you're frozen. I don't know if it's Restream or what, but I seem to be having a lot of problems lately. Last week, the stream went out and came back, which had never happened before, but I'm sure he'll be back here in a second. Bowling back in the 80s, like I said before, it was a completely different game. Today, and I go on Facebook, and almost every day I see somebody shooting a 300 or, an 800 series. And I think we even had another 900 series, if I'm not mistaken, a month or two ago, which is a little bit ridiculous. Yeah, he said he's frozen. Back in. And he's right. You got to keep people in there. You got to keep people in the lanes. You got to keep leagues going. You got to keep generating revenue. Lineage, I don't even know if it's a thing anymore. Like, we used to pay per game. I'm pretty sure most bowling alleys now, if you're even just practicing, it's per hour. I know I took my daughter, bowling about a year ago, and it was like $35 an hour, which is stupid. I used to pay back in my day, I used to pay like $3 a game. In fact, it may have even been less than that, but you don't get that anymore. But to keep people coming in and selling beers and food at the snack bars and whatnot. You need the house shot. You need scores to be good scores to be attainable. So I get it. It's a business. I do understand you got to keep your customers coming in. But I just, as a lifelong bowler, it just kind of hurts to see all these 300 games for people that honestly aren't even that good. I mean, let's be honest. It makes, I almost want to get back out there again just to see if I can do it, to see how well I can do. I still have that hammer effect tour. I got to get drilled up, and I got my shoes. I got Brunswick shoes, brand new shoes. So I keep saying I'm going to do it. I keep saying I'm going to wait until I get in better shape, or any shape at all other than the potato that I am right now. Yeah, it is what it is. While I'm waiting for Todd to get back, let me pull up PBA.com and see what's going on with the Pete Weber Missouri Classic. I know my buddy, by the way, congrats to Nate Garcia, my good friend, who bowled his ass off of the players last week, made it through the PTQ, and almost made the match play round. He made the advancers round. Started off pretty good, and then he said he couldn't, nothing, no matter what ball he used, no matter what he did, he could not get it to do anything, and it really sucked. I watched the whole thing on Bowl TV, but it's just really unfortunate. But I'm so proud of him. He's rebooting his computer. Okay. So proud of Nate for how well he bowled. I saw it. Scores were high early. I want to say like 240 or 230 was like the average early on. And obviously they kind of came back down to earth, but I watched Nate bowl. I watched Jesper bowl because they were in the pair right next to him. I saw a little bit of Simo. Simo really struggled. It was really interesting to see what happened to him. Kyle Troop was struggling as well. Belmo didn't make the cut either. You did tell me Brad would turn around. Brad was bowling bad. He did. And Brad had to do the PTQs this week in the Missouri Classic. I don't get it. I don't understand, but Brad made the PTQ this week, so he should never have to PTQ. Brad Miller's just a very good bowler. Alex says 3 games of bowling is equivalent to walking and running a mile. Go lift for strength, go bowling for cardio. Dude, it's true. Dude, I sweat my balls off last time I bowled, man. There is a lot of cardio involved in bowling. But I'm proud of Nate Garcia for the way he bowled last week. And it was good to see Brandon Bonta just go nuts. Dude, we'll get into what we were talking about in a minute, but Brandon Bonta, man, that guy has balls of steel to shoot 300 against EJ Tackett. Are you kidding me? For his first championship?
That show was incredible. To watch a young kid come out there like that, you could tell he was nervous when he first got started. Probably was fortunate to have Spencer in the first match, quite honestly, because after that it was a gauntlet of lefty and then EJ, and just a sick performance by that kid. Disgusting,
like lights out, unconscious. Like the goalie for the men's hockey team, for the U.S. gold winning hockey team. Just unconscious. And I'm actually proud of Spencer too. I watched Spencer bowl on Bowl TV all week, and I thought he did great. He's got a lot of promise as well, but
no question.
Your first season, your first tournament, your first major, right out of the gate, you shoot 300 against the greatest bowler on the planet.
Well, there's one way to make sure you beat the greatest bowler on the planet is don't miss.
Right? Yeah.
And that's really the only way to guarantee that you're going to win.
Absolutely.
And he didn't. It was insane. It was pretty incredible.
So a lot of people were complaining about Kyle Sherman kind of being boring, but I thought he did a great job. I mean, it's his first show out. He doesn't have much chemistry with his partner yet. I think, it'll be a learning curve, but eventually they'll get it. I thought he did a fine job for his first show.
Actually, somebody asked me that. I was at the Lanes tonight, and somebody asked me that question. I thought Kyle did okay. I guess it's horrible. I can't remember the other guy's name yet. But he kept calling the 7-pin a 10-pin at the beginning. And I think he probably got, alerted that, hey, that's the other corner.
Yeah.
But no, Kyle did okay. And I mean, we were talking about keeping score a little bit ago. They had a little segment in there about keeping score.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was good. I mean, you want to try to bring the masses into things like that. And I mean, that's kind of how you do those things.
Yeah, I never really agreed with the way Fox did the score, how they just kept like 2 frames on board. And like, you didn't know what they did. I don't know. I'm not going to say ABC really did either. But it still kind of irked me a little bit. Because if you know nothing about it, it really is kind of a difficult sport to score.
Sure.
But no, I did like that segment too, how they kind of broke it down for people. And I want to see more. I want to see something different. Like I want to see more player profiles. I want to know more about who I'm rooting for, because you want to have a vested interest in who's on the show. Otherwise it's not compelling, right? I want to know why this guy, I want to know, where Brandon Bonta came from, like how he had to get through the PTQ, or he had to, and stuff like that. And just kind of give a backstory, because the average person that turns on the show that doesn't watch it isn't going to know who he is.
Yeah. I mean, if you're bowling nerds, if you're bowling nerds like we are,
sure,
we keep track of the stats throughout the week and who's winning, who's leading, who's making a run, whatever. But not everybody knows or does that. So you're right. It's go ahead.
And Bo Burton did a good job of that back in the day. He'd go through the scores for the week, the average. He'd talk about the leaders. He'd kind of break down that, and he'd have interviews in between matches with the next guy that's coming up, which Fox did do a lot of that. But I don't know. I don't feel like Fox, number one, really cared about bowling that much. I think they just wanted it kind of on their portfolio, just to add it to their resume. But I wish we can get more in-depth stories from bowlers, because stories are really what gets people going. Almost like wrestling. Like you want to tell a good story in the ring, right? Like you want to get people invested on, why do these 2 guys hate each other? Why did you want to have things make sense? And I think if you do that, you'll get more people watching the sport. What do you think of the new CEO of Lucky Strike? He seems to really be excited to kind of tackle this job. He had a lot of success back in MMA. And I know he wants to put more tournaments on the schedule. And do you think he's going to try to get more sponsors and get more eyes on the product?
I mean, I think he's going to try, and I hope he's successful. I mean, obviously, folks that are watching this and you and I, we want to see the game continue to flourish or grow or whatever, however you want to look at it. Obviously, I think the guy's going to try. He had success in his past on what he was doing, and I mean, the jury's out, obviously. But I'm rooting for him just like I would anybody else. I think he's gonna do everything he can, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
Yeah, I am too. And he does have the pedigree for it. He does have the results to back up his name. And I think he's gonna do good things for the sport. I mean, he's already trying, like I said, he's trying to add new tournaments to the schedule, and make the tour a little bit longer, because back in the day, they had 30 something stops, and they had a summer tour, they had a winter tour, and there was so many more games of qualifying compared to now. It's like it was a super grind back then. I'm not saying they don't grind now, but compared to what it used to be back in my day, it's a lot easier schedule now.
Oh, that for sure. I mean, before you know it, you see the tour start, and all of a sudden the season's over anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I used to look forward to sitting in front of the TV when I was a little guy and watch them bowl on, when they brought out the gold pins for the one season. And, I used to look forward to that. And that was back in the Bo Burton days when he did show some player profiles, and, he brought a little bit of candor to what he was doing. He had a little fun with it. And I mean, I hope it can work its way back to that. Everybody was always, when CW announced they were taking over and they were going to be televising the show, everybody was like, how are they going to do that?
Yeah.
Well, give them a chance. I don't think the first show was terrible at all. They got things to work on just like anybody else. If they were perfect at it, they'd have been doing it all along.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So getting back to you, when did you get involved in with Bowlifi? How did that all come about?
So, it's kind of weird. I would run a weekly tournament at Colerain. When I took over Colerain, I had a tournament. I started at Northwest Lanes, basically the two centers I spent most of my life at. And I started a Sunday evening tournament there that, I'd get 25, 30 guys there. And it started to grow a little bit. And then I had the opportunity to go over and take over Colerain Bowl, which was fairly close. And all of a sudden it blew up. It was maybe the right location. There was just a lot of things that just hit at the right time. Everything, I don't know, the perfect storm. And we was at that point, it was the Colerain Bowl Sunday sweeper, and then the TMT Bowling came out of it. And we would always, at the end of the show, we live streamed all the finals, step ladder, or whatever format we were using for the finals. And we had our headsets on, and we had big, we had we had like 4 cameras that we were running off of a mixing board, and it did okay. It was a decent production of what we were doing. And then at the end of it, we'd have our pictures with the winners of first and second place that we'd post in a little tournament group that I started on Facebook. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word on YouTube or not.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. And it's got 5,500 people in the group now. And
wow.
There was a guy named Tim Wayner who happened to be watching, I guess, and he saw the picture at the end of it, and he sent me a private message, and we weren't friends on Facebook. He's like, "Hey, keep repping the brand. You're doing a great job, the tournament, whatever." And it's like, okay, thanks. I didn't know what he was talking about.
Right.
And I'm with Ebonite, and I'd been with Ebonite for many years. And I mean, that's not because I bowl good anymore. I don't really bowl at all anymore, but I do sell bowling, and I do promote their brands. And then all of a sudden, this Bowlifi thing with Tim, I waited a couple days, and I shot him a message back, and I said, "Can you explain? I mean, I'm not sure what you were talking about." He said, "Well, your jersey, you had a Bowlifi jersey on. I just figured you were part of Bowlifi staff." And it's like, no, I just have jerseys, and that just happened to be the one I was wearing that night. And I guess he made a call to the owner, and within a couple of weeks, they basically started backing TMT Bowling, the tournaments, and backing me to where they were giving a free jersey to the winner every week, because they knew they were getting 100 people, there every week, and we were getting pretty good viewership on our lives. And so they threw a coupon to the winner every week. They got a free jersey. And I wasn't even working for them at that point. I signed on with them, started helping sell jerseys. And then I had a couple years where I was, people they would just come to me about buying jerseys and teams. And all of a sudden you couldn't walk through Colerain Bowl without somebody not wearing a Bowlifi jersey.
Nice.
And I got some school business or whatever, but I think I had one year when I first started where I had almost $50,000 in sales of jerseys.
Wow.
That's a lot of shirts.
Yeah, it is.
And at that point, I just kind of grew my way into doing a little bit more for the company and doing a little bit more. And then all of a sudden, I was doing like a territory manager type thing, helping out with Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, and helping Tim, because Tim was up in Minnesota. And then Colerain was closing down. Got the word Colerain was shutting down, whatever. And within a week, I got a call from the owner of Bowlifi, and he brought me on board full time, gave me the opportunity. And in a matter of about 3 years, I've grown into national sales manager for him. And following right behind Ryan Simonelli was my boss up until a couple of years ago. He was the national sales manager before me, and Ryan and I became very good friends.
Love Ryan.
Yeah. What a great guy. What a great guy. Huge heart, and all about his family. And he's good people.
Yeah, he is.
Learned from him and learned from the ownership, and still learning new things every day. I think we all learn new things every day, no matter what we're doing. And I'll tell you what, it's a great job. It's a great company. I work for great people, and I very much enjoy what I do. Every now and then I'll get a private message at 3 a.m. about somebody trying to place an order that needs help, and I'm not so crazy about it right then.
Right.
But I mean, it goes along with the territory. I handle the staff from coast to coast, and there's another gentleman named Brandon who helps me with some of the staff. He works right out of the distribution center in Tennessee, and between the two of us, we stay very busy. And I got involved with handling all the schools, high schools. The high school is big business for us. And it keeps us busy for that stretch of the year for sure. It was about a 5-month season this year doing high school jerseys because everybody starts a little bit different timing.
Yeah.
And everybody's usually calling to get the best price. You know how that goes.
Sure, of course.
We offer a great price with a great product. So I enjoy every bit of it. I think my favorite part of it is when a school gets a hold of me or somebody gets a hold of me and they say, hey, I have this idea, but I don't know what to do with it.
Right.
And then I can kind of start with them and go start to finish. And, basically you've got a plain colored jersey and you start putting my ideas or their ideas or our ideas together and then seeing the finished product. To me, that's a really cool process. And
it really is to be involved in the creative process. Yeah. That's a cool thing.
I didn't know I was as creative as I was, I guess, when it comes to some of my jerseys, but some of them are pretty neat. And then once, you get my logo involved and then it's just, it's fun. Fun.
What's the craziest jersey you guys have made?
Oh, some I probably can't even talk about.
That's fair.
Yeah. There's a team on Monday nights at league, and it's probably I'd have to tell you off the air.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
That's fair. I wasn't sure if you made any of Ryan Schaefer's jerseys because his get pretty creative.
I mean, if you go on our website, there's 3,000 jerseys on the website.
Mm-hmm.
And they could be any color that you want them to be. We can change any color scheme, any background. You can add whatever logo. So, I mean, the opportunities are endless. And some of them, I mean, like paint splatter and things like that. I mean, some of them are pretty wild, abstract, kind of different, and then there's some people that like just the plain solid colored, clean looking jersey, but I have some of both. I mean, I have jerseys in my closet still that say 4X on them, and I'm actually making a blanket out of them.
Yeah, you mentioned that on Amanda's show. That's really awesome, dude. That's a really cool idea. I can't wait to see.
I'd seen other people, and I'd seen some forums folks did that, and I've got a young lady, her parents bowl at the bowling alley, and she's just now picking up sewing as a activity. And I said, I have a task for you if you want to try it. And she goes, I'd love to. So I told her there's no timeline. Whenever you get it done, here's some shirts, cut them up however you want to. You have free reign to do with what you want. Here's kind of what I want, what I have in mind.
Yeah. So that's really awesome. I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to bring this up. You got a sexy looking guy on the right, man. I don't know who that is, but no, you lost what, 125 pounds?
Almost 140.
Wow. 140.
Yeah, I'm sitting right around 185 now. I usually hover between 185, 190, depends what holidays around me.
We're similar height and build. I don't know if I could ever get down that. Like at my lowest, when I first tried to lose weight about 12 years ago, I kind of talked about this offline with you today. I got down to about 217 was my lowest. And I mean, I felt fantastic at that. It would take an act of God for me to get that back down to 185. That's what per my height and I'm supposed to be. So God bless you for getting that far, man. But I don't know if I want to be that skinny anymore.
I can't tell you how much better I feel.
I bet. Yeah.
Walking up the steps. I mean, you get winded tying your shoes. I mean,
absolutely. Yes.
And it was a big change. I had to make a lot of changes in my life and what I was doing. We talked about it on Amanda's show a little bit. I stepped away from the alcohol. That's had a lot to do with it.
Right.
And then of course, when you're hanging out and, you go to the bar after work, and when you're leaving the bar, guess what's open? White Castles, McDonald's, and you're eating that kind of garbage, which hey, don't get me wrong. I still very much enjoy that food.
Yeah.
But at 3 a.m, and then, you get up the next day, and then you sleep until 1 o'clock, and you get up and do it all over again.
It's a vicious cycle. Yeah.
And I still work late. I still work late nights at the lanes, 4 nights a week, whatever. And I work during the day for Bowlifi during the day. I work at the lanes at night in the evenings, and then on some weekends, but I just changed my habits.
Yeah.
I cut sugar out, a lot of sugar out. I still have candy every now and then, but obviously, I like my coffee.
Me too. Yes.
But I quit taking the sugar. I took the sugar out of my coffee and started switching over to fake sugar, and found some that I kind of liked the flavor of. And I changed my habits completely, and it came off pretty quickly. There wasn't a whole lot of working out. There was some walking, but not a ton of, I wasn't going to the gym. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't running. Nobody was chasing me. So
I wouldn't run if I wanted to. Yeah.
Right.
I would just capture me. I'm not running. If the cops are after me, it is what it is. I'm not.
Yeah. All right. You got me.
Good game.
Yeah. But yeah, I had a lot of support. I wasn't comfortable at all. No matter what I did, I felt horrible every day.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
My wife pushed me. She helped me. Dawn was amazing through all of this. She watched me when I was heavy. She watched me get thin. She watched me get heavy again. And now I'm where I'm at. And, without support from her on anything I do, you can't win. You got to have support behind you. And
absolutely.
She kind of helped me get myself out of my troubles that I put myself into. And she's amazing to my daughter. And, it's certainly is helpful.
You and I have a lot in common, especially with the fact that we were pretty old before we decided to have a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 58 and my daughter's 10. So
yeah. So I'm 49. I'll be 50 in May. My daughter's 7. So we're close on that. It's definitely an eye opener. It was absolutely game changer. I don't regret it. I kind of regret doing it earlier. I wish I would have done it earlier.
Sure.
But everything happens for a reason. The Lord, put her in my life when she was supposed to be there. Maybe I wasn't ready when I was in my 30s. I don't know. But I wouldn't change anything for the world. She's my rock. She's my everything. She's my legacy. This show, it doesn't matter what I do. She is what I want my legacy to be. But it's kind of cool though, being a girl dad, isn't it?
It is great being a girl dad. There's a couple buddies that bowl up there, and they have the girl dad shirts and the girl dad hats. And it's like, cool. Man, I've got to get one of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. And she hasn't really picked up on bowling yet. She loves being at the bowling alley. She owns the place when she walks in there.
That's cool.
Everybody knows who she is. She's not afraid of anything when it comes to, she just cover up right up behind the desk. And if she hears somebody say they need a size, if I'm helping an open bowler and they need a size 10, she knows right where to go, and she'll hand them right up on the desk for me. She's amazing.
Girls are fearless. I've realized that they are absolutely fearless. And I'm glad I didn't have a boy. I kind of, part of me wishes I did, just to carry on my legacy, my family legacy, to carry on the name. But man, I look at other boys in school and all that. I'm like, God, I am so glad I had a girl, because boys are just obnoxious. I know how I was when I was a kid. And I'm still obnoxious, but I'm kind of glad I had a girl, because they tend to keep you a little more grounded and protective, for sure.
Oh, without question. I'd jump in front of a car for that little girl.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing that's ever going to hurt her, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
Ever.
Yep. I've taught my kid about peanut butter and jelly. Anybody gives you problems, just introduce them to peanut butter and jelly. She thinks that's hilarious. That's like the funniest thing ever. So,
you know what? I'm going to have to teach her that one. I have not used that one for her.
It's good. I like it. And I love your dad jokes that you always post on Facebook as well, because
people, and we talked about this on Amanda's show with some mental health things and here and there, and people get depressed a lot. And I do something at Christmas time, and I didn't do it this year, but I started in November generally, and I would play one Christmas song, whether it was ridiculous or not, at midnight every night. And everybody was like, "Oh, it's too early to play that. Start doing that. You wait till Thanksgiving's over." And then, then all of a sudden I started getting people would ask me, "Hey, can you play this tonight? Can you play this song tonight?" And my whole thing with my silly dad jokes and the Christmas music way before I should be playing it, if it makes one person smile because they heard that song or they read that stupid joke, then to me it's worth every penny, every second of me scrolling through and finding, oh my God, this one's horrible. I have to share this one.
Well, I think it's funny. I laugh at everyone that you post because I get it, right? It's just kind of a dad thing.
Yeah. I mean, there are some of them that I just roll my eyes at and I share them anyway. It's like, this is bad enough for me to chuckle like I'm in third grade. I have to put this out for everybody else to think it's horrible.
Yeah. Too. And my wife is right along the same lines of the whole Christmas thing. If she could keep up her decorations all year, she would. Like that's like her joy during the years is Christmas. Like she makes Christmas cookies. She watches the Hallmark movies. She puts up her decorations. She's playing music all the time. So she would totally dig what you're doing.
Yeah, see, I'm all about the Christmas. My wife, on the other hand, she's not as much into Christmas.
Really? Scrooge.
Yeah. I mean, she gets into it when it's time, but I guess it can be a sad time of year for a lot of people too. And the weather is depressing. And, but yeah, I thought we were going to have to wrestle for putting up the Christmas tree or not this year. And we have a new kitten in the house too. So putting up the tree was kind of a battle. I thought I was going to have to enclose it in glass to keep the cat from climbing through it
or batting the ornaments off the branches.
Yeah. But we got through. The cat made it through. She's still alive. So it was a winning season for everybody involved.
That's a win-win. Yeah. My wife's mother, my mother-in-law is, I wouldn't say anti-Christmas, but along the same lines as your wife. Like, as soon as Christmas is over, she's taking it down. I'm like, I think we took ours down in February this year. She was kind of upset about that.
But when I grew up, it was always we put it up shortly after Thanksgiving, and it stayed up until after the first of the year, and that's just what I grew up with, and that's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
If it was December 26th at 12:01 a.m., Dawn would be ready to take down our Christmas tree. And it'd be stay away from the tree.
Right.
But I'm up late. I like the lights on. It's just, to me, it's calming.
So you work a ton, but when you're not working, what do you like to do? What are your hobbies? What are you good at?
Nothing.
Okay. What do you like to do?
I mean, when I'm home and I'm not working, which is kind of rare, but I mean, that's when I get to catch up on my Facebook. I do a lot with social media. I get to post my tournaments, which to me, that's not really work. Running the tournaments themselves when you get there are, but I got myself kind of locked in on a couple TV shows, and I can sit there and binge watch some shows. Chicago PD and FBI are my two favorite shows until I discovered Landman, and I could sit and watch
so good,
Landman.
So good.
Oh, that show is so fantastic.
It really is.
But there's not enough of them for me to watch all the reruns of those.
No, I agree. And Yellowstone was a big one for me. I loved Yellowstone. I don't know if you ever got into that.
I never had a chance because it was on Sunday night, and I worked on Sunday nights with tournaments. And I never have watched one episode of Yellowstone, and everybody tells me if you watch one, you're gonna want to start.
You will. You'll be hooked. It's the same creator, Taylor Sheridan. So whenever you have time, I would definitely start it, and you'll be up late binge watching it because it's such a good show. What else? Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone.
Oh yeah, that's another one I got pretty fond of.
Really good show. I love that show.
Dude's in incredible shape for 75 years old.
Yeah, I've always loved him, but yeah, he's still really, really good. So, any other particular hobbies? Are you wait, hold on. Who's the cook in your house?
We both are.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm the outside cook. I'm the grill and smoker. Yep. But I don't mind cooking inside. My wife 100% is a much better cook than I am, though. And she's got cookbooks that are still here that were her mom's. Yep. And giant freaking Bibles that take both of us to pick up. And she uses those recipes, but my wife is a fantastic cook.
That's cool. Yeah, my wife and I are pretty good cooks. She's a better baker, really, really good baker. But my dad taught me how to cook when I was young. So I've kind of been cooking my whole life. Nothing fancy, nothing gourmet, obviously. I don't eat a lot of vegetables, but I do love to cook. I do love to grill. What's your go-to dish that you like to cook?
Lasagna. When I cook inside, it's lasagna. Mm-hmm. Outside, really anything. On the smoker, man, I think anything on a smoker, if it's done right, is just so good. I did some wings on a smoker. I could eat wings every night of the week, and I can eat pizza pretty much any night of the week. Yep. I don't, thankfully.
I do. No, I'm just kidding. But have you put in I've done hamburgers, I've done hot dogs, I've smoked my own bologna. Pretty much anything you could put in a smoker and it's good.
I did steak in the smoker a couple weeks ago. I just read my one friend Scott is huge into these smoker forums, and he started sending me different recipes of stuff in the smoker. So I started following this one group, and I just started reading. So what's the best way to do steak? How long? And it's just like anything else. You just got to get the center temperature right. And then what flavor do you want it to be? Yep. And they came out pretty fantastic. I was pretty proud of those.
You have a pellet smoker or wood smoker? What do you use?
No, it's a wood smoker.
Yeah. What do you use for wood?
I just get different flavored chips, I guess. I don't know if you call them flavored or whatever. But just the cherry or whatever different kinds you can put in there. But I haven't really found one that I didn't like.
That's true. Yeah. I'm not a big mesquite fan, but I typically use cherry or pecan. And
I always put apple juice in it when I'm cooking. There's always apple juice in the bottom of the tray because that's adds a little bit of flavor.
Absolutely. Man, I could talk food all night. I'm getting hungry. Yeah. I've started intermittent fasting today, and I'm not allowed to eat after 7:00. So I think we may switch off the food because I'm starting to get hungry.
Yeah. Next.
We're coming up at the hour mark, so we're going to wrap it up here in a second. Yeah. But I do want to make an announcement. You actually surprised me this afternoon when you texted me and asked me what would it take to get on staff at Bowlifi, and I absolutely jumped at the chance. So thank you for the honor to be able to represent the brand. We're going to get a banner here shipped to the house, and I'll have it set up in my set here. And I'm proud to represent the brand. It's absolutely fantastic company. So I appreciate the ability to do that.
Well, we're glad to have you on board. You're wearing Boog's hat. He's a Bowlifi guy, and I'm sure he's been on your show
many times.
I talk to Boog fairly often when the season's not going on. I mean, they're all busy now, but what a stand-up, amazing guy. I've actually did a live stream with him after he won one of his tournaments because I would go on and do things just like we are right now, do them on the Bowlifi staff page. And so I got to interview him, and I've got to interview some pretty cool people like you have. And Boog is, just a great guy. He would just message me out of the blue every now and then, just see how I'm doing, and it's kind of neat.
Yeah, he was on 2 weeks ago.
People that I would never even think that would be part of my life, and they are because of bowling.
Isn't that cool, dude? Like I said it last week, and I've said it a lot on the show. Like growing up as a kid, watching these guys on TV, and then all these years later, I had Pete McCordick on last week. You watched his 300 game, and he broke it down. Like, just the advent of modern technology to be able to talk to your heroes is such a cool thing, and I'm super blessed to be able to do it. I never would have thought in a million years it'd be possible, right? Back in the day, watching on TV, that I'd be talking to them, 30, 40 years later, and get to talk to the kids on tour now. It's just it's a really neat thing. Yeah, bowling is an amazing sport.
Well, it was kind of funny last week because you had reached out to me about being on the show, and we were going to do it sometime in March. And I think tonight was supposed to be Danny Wiseman.
It was, and then he told me, "Hey, I'm on a 2-week cruise." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Crap.
Yeah, and then he shot me a message, asked me if I would bump it up to now, and it's like, wait a minute, I'm being bumped by Danny Wiseman. Who is that guy? Just because
he sends me messages every day on Messenger. He's a closet conservative. He doesn't want people to know that. So, but he'll send me memes and stuff for me to post every day, so he doesn't get any heat for it. He's a really cool guy. We have a good time talking. Salt of the earth, like just and fantastic bowler too, for crying out loud, man.
Well, yeah.
He was dominant for a while. So, but
yes, he was.
But yeah, no, he's a good guy. Who else do you have on staff? Any of note that people would know about?
Oh well. Kyle and Jesper, Bill O'Neill. He's somebody of note. Just got in the Hall of Fame last year. See, you put me on the spot here. We've got Chuck Ritchie is part of our staff.
Man, Chuck. Yeah.
Yep. Good man.
I got his tape.
Tom Smallwood.
I love Tom. Tom's a good guy.
Yeah. We got some young up and comers, Eric Jones, that are part of staff. That kid's going to be something else.
He really is.
Got a lot of game. Yeah. We just signed Tomas Kaidko.
Yep.
From overseas. Toon Hakeem, if you remember, he won a major last year.
Yep.
It was funny with Kaidko, and I know we're getting close to the end of time here. But,
that's cool.
Kaidko we were back and forth a little bit trying to play catch up. They're 7 hours different from where I am. And he just happened to send me a message after our back and forth emails. He sent me a private message on Facebook, and he said, "I think we have a deal here. I think I really want to, jump on board." And it was 3:45 in the morning. Well, guess who was awake and replied right away? And he was like, "I was not expecting you to be online."
Well, that is service right there.
There we go. So we hammered out his deal at 4:00 in the morning and got him part of the team.
Well, that's awesome. So I'm proud to be part of that team in any small part, but I'll do anything to help the brand. I've always been a big fan of them. So
sure thing. We're glad to have you. And hey, and if you have questions, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I have another announcement to make, and this one I broke last night on Amanda Moore's show, but coming up next week is a bucket list guest for me. PDW Pete Weber will be on a special day because he's with his grandkids on Wednesday nights and he bowls on Monday nights, and I have the show on Tuesday nights. So Thursday night is what we're going to do. So we won't be here next Wednesday. Make sure you make that note. Next Thursday, live 8 p.m. Eastern, Pete Weber will be on the show. I'm looking forward to that, man. He is an absolute legend, and I don't know. I'm nervous, but I'm also excited.
So, I would be too. I'm going to send you a picture right now to your phone, and you need to look at this, and you can share it next week on your show. A buddy of mine, Scott, he has a lot of time on his hands, likes to play with his with AI, and he dresses his dog up all the time with his AI stuff. So he sent me this last night. Is that not fantastic?
That is awesome. Yes, I will share that next week.
That maybe has to be your intro. I don't know.
I'll work that in. Yeah, no, I love that. You guys have to stay tuned until next week just to see that picture. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Don't.
I'm not going to spoil it.
But yeah, definitely tune. You said next week on Thursday.
Next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Yeah.
That should be an incredible show, and what an honor to be able to sit down with him for an hour or so next week.
Yes, it is. And Chuck Ritchie is the one that helped me get that. So a big props to Chuck. He's helped me so much during this the lifetime of our show. Who do you think you are? Yeah, who do you think you are? But no, big props to Chuck. Speaking of which, before we go, I still want to mention that Chuck sent me a Bowl TV chamois and signed it. It's a 1 of 1. You're not going to find it anywhere else. We're going to raffle it off to charity. We're going to any proceeds that you donate will goes to BVL, the Bowlers for Veterans link, which is Johnny Petraglia Sr.'s pride and joy. He's a big part of that. So what you can do is you can PayPal me right there, or actually I'm going to use the QR code. That's probably better. I'm asking for a $20 minimum, but honestly, you can donate whatever you want to be put in the raffle. We're going to keep it going until March 4th, I believe. Yep, March 4th, we'll do a live raffle here on the show. So if you want to scan that link right there, you can Venmo me. I promise you, I'm not taking a penny out of this at all. Anything you donate goes straight to BVL, even if you don't care about the chamois. It's still a good cause. It still supports a good cause. But I mean, come on, Chuck Ritchie, dude. Come on, everybody knows who Chuck is.
Oh yeah, that's a super cool little thing, right?
Yeah,
there.
He got that. And he signed and he sent it. He's like, man, that's a perfect thing. We can raffle off. So you can scan that QR code, or I also have a PayPal. You can scan that code as well to support a great cause. The Bowlers, the Veterans link has helped many bowlers and veterans since, I want to say 1940 something. It's one of the longest running charities, and it's definitely bowling's oldest charity. So we'll keep that running. We'll post it more on Facebook in our group, but that is a great cause. Todd, I got one more segment here. It's called the Imbecile of the Week. You want to participate?
Well, let's see what you got.
It's time for everybody's favorite segment.
If you guys don't know how to use a seatbelt, just ring your call button and Tommy will come back there and hit you on the head with a tack hammer.
You know, Lloyd, just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber.
Here's the Imbecile of the Week.
Some people are really stupid.
All right, this week's Imbecile of the Week comes to us from Facebook. This was based on a post that the PBA put up about Guppy Troop, who was also on this show a couple months ago. Just inducted into the PBA Hall of Fame. And the first comment right there, you can see it. Not congratulating Guppy, but saying, bring back Pressler and Peterson. David Clemens, you genius. I had to say something. So I said, bro, how many times do we have to say the PBA doesn't employ the announcers? The networks do. Give it a rest. To which he responded, oh, they sure bombard with posts. I will reply. You don't like my post? Scroll on. So I said, dude, I'm just trying to give you correct information. You're literally complaining to the wrong people. And it's not just him. He just happened to kind of, I don't know. I must have been in a bad mood that morning when I was replying. But, I see it in so many posts about people complaining about Randy Peterson and Kimberly Pressler being gone. And it has nothing to do with the PBA. Literally nothing. No. It's Fox, it's CW, it's CBS Sports, it's whoever carries bowling. They supply the announcers. But there's just so many ignorant people out there. And this guy just happened to just irk me. So
timing.
David Clemens, you are the Imbecile of the Week. Enjoy it, wear it as a badge of honor, and know that you are one of the most dumbest people on the planet. So I hope you enjoy that honor. Todd, I appreciate you being here, brother. I appreciate you having me on staff and giving me your time. I know you're so busy. So I can't thank you enough for coming on, man. It was a fun conversation.
Yeah, I honestly, I can't thank you enough for actually even asking me to be part of this. Once I started investigating and looking at your show a little bit and some of the people that you have had on there, and then, hearing that I'm being followed by, one of the greatest to ever lace them up. I mean, it's an honor for me to be part of it. So thank you.
You're welcome. Absolutely. Anytime you want to be on and come back, it's definitely my honor, because I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation we had on Reset and Rising Unbreakable with Amanda Moore, which is also on my network, which goes live every Tuesday on YouTube. If you guys want to check that out. And I learned so much about you and your past, which a lot of it we didn't get into because it's kind of a deeper show about the depths of despair and redemption overall. But based on that conversation and what I learned about you, I had to have you on this show. So it was a no-brainer.
Well, I appreciate it. And like I said, I'm glad to be here. And I'm always here if there's anything I can do to help. And if you ever need a space filler to jump on a show, just let me know. I'll fill in a week for you if somebody's on a cruise.
I'm going to hold you to that. So, all right, guys, hope you enjoyed this edition of Straight Up 5 with myself and Todd McGill here, the National Sales Manager for Bowlifi. Next week, again, one more time, if you missed it, Pete Weber, PDW, will be on the show next week, Thursday, not Wednesday, Thursday, March 5th, 8 p.m. Eastern, same time, different day. And we're looking forward to having Pete on the show. So until then, guys, I hope you enjoyed this show. Thanks for your support. We'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.
Thanks for listening to this edition of Straight Up 5. You can follow the show on Twitter at Straight Up 5 Pod. Follow Rad Rob at Rad Rob Gaming. And follow Dr. Ocho at the Dr. Ocho. Got a question? Send your questions to straightup5podcast@gmail.com. We'll see you next time for another edition of Straight Up 5. Right here